All right, they want the main idea. Remember, main ideas are repeated ideas. So if something comes up multiple times, it's probably important. Many literary theorists distinguish between fabula, a narrative's content, and syuzhet, a narrative's arrangement and presentation of events. In the film The Godfather Part 2, the fabula is the story of the Corleone family, and the syuzhet is the presentation of the story as it alternates between two timelines in 1901 and 1958. Okay, so there's two things. Right? They mentioned it twice. But literary theorist Mikhail Bakhtin maintained that fabula and syuzhet are insufficient to completely describe a narrative. He held that systematic categorizations of artistic phenomena discount the subtle way in which meaning is created by interactions between the artist, the work, and the audience. Okay. Dumb summary is he thinks this is bad, right? He thinks these two things, the F and the S, the fabula and the syuzhet, are bad. Okay. Let's look at the choices. Literary theorist Mikhail Bakhtin argued that there are important characteristics of narratives that are not fully encompassed by two concepts that other theorists have used to analyze narratives. Well, they're bad because they do not fully encompass the concepts. Okay, fine. It's bad. It's in a dumb summary way. This seems to be about what I need it to be about, so let's just leave it at that for now. Let's look at B. Literary theorist Mikhail Bakhtin claimed that meaning is not inherent in a narrative, but is created when an audience encounters a narrative so that narratives are interpreted differently by different people. What? This isn't about the things, the fabula and this thing that I can't pronounce. It's got to be about them. This is not about them, right? Now, notice that A doesn't mention them, but it still kind of says, right, two concepts. What are the two concepts? The fabula and the other thing, right? So that's a good example of how the SAT tries to make it harder to recognize answer choices, is they'll remove the thing we're expecting, but they'll refer to it in kind of this backdoor way, this kind of more secretive way that we just need to pay attention to, but just don't expect to always see those prominent words that you see in the passage appear in the choices. They might kind of condense them in some way. Let's look at C. The storytelling methods used in The Godfather Part 2 may seem unusually complicated, but they can be easily understood when two concepts from literary theory are utilized. Well, this is positive. Remember, we want negative, right? So he's saying that they're not fully encompassed. This is negative. Plus, main character. Is the main character of this passage The Godfather? No, it's maybe Bakhtin. Maybe it's these two things. It's some combination of those, but The Godfather is just one example. It's just meant to kind of tell us what these things are. So it's not about The Godfather. D, narratives that are told out of chronological order are more difficult for audiences to understand than are narratives presented chronologically. Well, this is just a comparison, and it's talking about The Godfather, I guess, but that's definitely not what we're talking about. It's A, right? The point is this guy says these two things are not good or not good enough. That's it. Keep it simple. Don't worry about it. And notice that, as I'm going through this, I'm not really interested in truly understanding what fabula and syuzhet are. I don't care. I don't even care to learn how to pronounce it for this explanation because it doesn't matter. It's not about that. The passages will not be literally about knowing the details of these random things that they insert. It's about the overall structure, right? In this case, it's just a guy disagrees with a theory. That's a very common SAT passage. You will see that in many ways on many different topics. So get comfortable with those kind of more basic structures of these passages.